Hello, good afternoon, everybody. How's everyone doing? Yes, of course, an important message as we start this with the ongoing increased volatility of attacks against Ukraine by Russia. Of course, we do stand with Ukraine throughout everything that's going on at the moment. Of course, we do not agree with the actions of Russia, as do none of the civilized world. But we are completely against it. And of course, anybody who can offer support or provide support to those in Ukraine, or if you have any friends or family in Ukraine, and of course, our thoughts are with yourselves. And obviously, we stand by you and can support as often as we can. But let's get into today's show. Of course, joined with me, as always, my co-host, the General C. How are you doing today, brother?
Hello, not too bad, not too bad. Yourself, mate?
Not so bad, not so bad. I've been to the air rifle range today and had some good old target practicing. So
yeah, I saw the picture.
Yeah,
I've not done that in years.
really good fun. Yeah, it's other than that though. Have you had much time to get into gaming? And you've got an awesome new setup yourself, though, haven't you? New PC,
I did.
new screen,
Yep.
new everything.
New screen, new PC, new
New
lights,
computer. Who dis?
new chair I'm sitting on. The studio mascot in the background there. Yeah, managed to play some Halo yesterday and today. Had some fun playing that with Mod Sto. Played for about 2 hours earlier before showtime. Before I jumped off,
Nice.
get some food and all that. Play some Cyberpunk as well, as we know that the next gen patch came out for that, and I'm really enjoying that again. That's pretty much the two games I've really been playing mainly. Oh, I played a little bit of Hunt Showdown, of course. It's always
Yeah,
Hunt Showdown with me.
always.
So.
How is Hunt on your new PC then?
Chef's kiss.
Yeah. It's even higher quality. I mean,
Yep.
I'm guessing you've got it maxed out now.
Oh yeah, definitely. Hunt Showdown is maxed out.
Yeah. What's it like with when you can see everything so much more crisp?
Oh, so much better. I'm hitting my shot so much more in glorious 240 hertz.
Yeah.
Uh,
It's just so much smoother, isn't it? Have you got a FreeSync screen as well?
Yeah, it's FreeSync, but
Yeah.
not
It
sure
just
if I've
makes
got that
a
on
world
yet.
of difference, doesn't it?
Yeah,
Having FreeSync on.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's actually fully activated yet. I don't know if I've got to go into settings and do that, but
On your
seems to be working
on the
fine.
screen. So on my screen, I don't have to activate it. It's just automatic. On a lot of screens, you have to go on and switch it on. I think Stu even had that the other day, and his wasn't switched on. He switched it on. And he said it does make a world of difference. It's just makes it so much more smooth.
Yeah, I'll have to check that out.
100%. It's usually just on the on-screen buttons on your screen itself. But yeah, I've been playing a little bit of Halo last night. What else have I been playing this week? I've been playing a lot of different random stuff. A little bit of Halo last night, a little bit of Dark Souls through the week. Dark Souls 2.
I managed to catch a bit of that.
Yeah.
When you were
A
streaming
little bit
that.
of Horizon Forbidden West. What else? A little bit of Sea of Thieves. A little bit of Cyberpunk. Jesus. A lot of different things. Cyberpunk, I finished off a second ending. Of course, if anybody who hasn't finished it yet, there's technically 6 endings. You have 2 versions or 2 alternate endings for every playthrough you go through. So if you start as Nomad, they have 2 endings. Street Kid has 2 endings, and Corpo has 2 endings.
I'm playing as a Nomad now.
2 Nomad ones. I did start a playthrough on Street Kid, but I don't know what it was. But the Street Kid vibe didn't give us the same kind of oomph as the Nomad one. Like the Nomad start was just so in your face, and there was a lot going on straight away, and you're like riding through all like the satellite area and things like that, and kind of in the desert. But then
I like that
you
opening.
just do a heist that goes wrong.
Yeah, that's what I did. The first playthrough I ever did was Street Kid. Well, tell a lie, I tried Corpo, but I was like, no, I don't like this. So I started it again as Nomad, not Nomad, Street Kid. And
you know what it is though? Apparently, a few
the
people
full
that have played
playthrough.
the Corpo playthrough. Apparently, one of the Corpo endings is it's like one of the most powerful endings in the game. So it makes us want to play through as corpo just to see what the hell that ending's all about.
Yeah, I might have to try that then. But I'm enjoying the Nomad playthrough so far. I like the little Nomad responses you can get.
Yeah, it's awesome. Like I say, I've done the 2 Nomad endings now. I could choose to mop up all the side quests and things, or I can choose to start a full Street Kid playthrough and then go for the 2 endings on that as well. But again, there's a lot of more games to play through now, and I think as much as I love Cyberpunk and it's one of my favorite all-time games now, having played it all through and hadn't played loads of the side missions and played a few of the endings and things like that. Aside from that, it's just so much. I need to crack on with for Horizon Forbidden West. There's a few other games I want to get through. Halo Infinite can just jump in and out of, so I don't really mind. I won't be picking up Elden Ring straight away. I know we've just spoken about that.
Yeah, I'm going to wait
for a little bit. We're not like proficient Dark Souls players, so it's not something that we need to jump on immediately. So I can understand.
I do want to play it.
Oh yeah, 100%.
I'm fine with waiting till it's patched a little bit more.
Yeah, 100%. I'm fine. I'm happy waiting for it. It's not one I want to jump on, and I will not be brought into the FOMO of all the hype that's surrounding it, because I know at the end of the day it's still a Dark Souls game, and like
it is. I've watched a few of my friends stream it through like Discord in Discord servers, and just looks like Dark Souls to me. Yeah, with a few differences, like Dark Souls with extra steps.
And I've seen, don't get us wrong, I've seen some unbelievable players. Like I even watched Addict the other day from Ironlords play it, and he's really good at Dark Souls, like really, really good. He was dodging like some of the bosses like there was no man, and it was just like wiping them out. There's just one of these trolls that was just walking around the open world, and I think he took it out like 3-4 times off the belt without even breaking a sweat. But I've seen another one. I think it was there's another guy on Twitter that posts all them awesome like video edits he does on PlayStation games of like Ghost of Tsushima. I've forgotten his name now, but he's just ridiculously good at that game. Like he was just like rolling like like moments before the weapon was coming down on his face, he would like just dodge out the way like seconds beforehand, and then just like get a few hits in.
I'm like, what? Dead.
Yep. Oh yeah, I just end up hitting scenery every time. I just boom. Oh no, I'm dead. Right, okay, start again.
I've just got no like aware for my surroundings in those games.
Oh no, not at all. Not at all. My surroundings are terrible in those games. I have absolutely no idea what's going on half the time. But yeah, but Horizon Forbidden West, I'm really enjoying so far. Just got to the section now where the world is starting to open up a bit, and you start to get your side quests and you're starting to get your missions. There was a little kind of, should we say, like a trailer-esque thing once you've gotten past the prologue, and the thing comes up and you sort of ride towards your location that you need to get at when you go off by yourself. That shows you all the different biomes. And if all of those biomes are in the game, then I'll be very happy, because there was a lot of different variances. There was like tropical jungles, there was like snow-covered mountains, there was deserts, there was so many different things and places to go to. So if it turns out that all those biomes are in the game, then I'll be happy. There's a lot to explore.
That's another one I'm holding out for, though. I don't really want to play it on PlayStation 4, to be honest.
No. I mean, to be fair, that the only thing that stops me from continuing to play it more recently is the racket of that PS4 Pro. Like even people, the fact that everyone could hear it on stream the other day.
Yeah, I was watching some of it, but I didn't want to watch too much because I didn't want spoilers. Because I do eventually want to play it.
I was gonna say the good thing is the section that I played anyway, which is why I kind of cut it off where I did, was I got to the point where it then starts to get into the story. The prologue section doesn't really tell you anything. It's more just, here's a few of the old characters you know. This is kind of where you're going. And I'm not even at the Forbidden West yet. I'm just starting to get to some of the sections. And I know a lot of people have said, oh, we've played 17 to 20 hours so far, and we haven't even got to the Forbidden West. But those are the same people that like to do every side quest. I would think you could probably get to the Forbidden West section in about 4 to 5 hours. So I'm a few hours off yet. But
yeah, I'm the type of person that comes back to those side quests later. I want to get to the good stuff, the meat and potatoes of the game.
Definitely. Halo Infinite, I'd love to speak more on that, but it is severely lacking content. It's still as fun as ever. Still go on and have a really great time, and especially with your friends.
I've had some issues with it on the PC. Like the PC version it's got some really strange issues with graphics cards.
And does it crash?
No, it didn't crash for me. Like it doesn't lag, stutter, or anything like that. But it puts graphics cards to like overdrive. Literally, it maxes out the GPU usage. It put my GPU between 97 and it was fluctuating between that and 100%, which is really weird. And I thought that was just a me issue. But then I took a dive through Google and stumbled across a few forums of people that are having the same issue on a
It's
bloody
really weird.
3090.
Another one as well, which is PC related, that people aren't aware of, is these. There is occasionally the game can crash, and it's got nothing to do with the game. It's got nothing to do with the graphics card. It's something on the computer called NIMIC services or something along those lines. And if whilst that's on, it can cause the game to crash.
Really?
You have to quit out of it. I mean, it's just some random background service thing for your PC, but it can cause issues. So every time I've played Halo on the PC, as much as it's unbelievably much more smooth because I'm getting like 100 odd frames at max, like maxed everything.
It's weird though. Like
drawbacks. Like when I was playing with you guys a few months back, you'll remember that mine just randomly crashed every now and again.
Yeah, that was in Big Team Battle, I think, when we were playing Big Team Battle. But like, it's really weird though, because even turning the game down to its lowest settings, it still uses the GPU at max pretty much. When it don't make any sense.
Some weird GPU utilization there.
Yeah, that's something that they really need to fix, because I can imagine that probably put a lot of people off of playing it with worries that it's going to burn out their GPU quicker than it needs to.
Yeah, definitely. Before we get into any of our topics and things today, I want to give a shout out to Mr. Pseudos, of course, becoming a member again. Welcome back to the membership, Pseudos. Next up, of course, let's go down the list of all these awesome people that are in the show today. So, of course, Stuff Sean, hello there, sir. How are you doing today? Apa Chai, I need to get that one right every time. Welcome, sir. Crazy Louis Gaming, hello there. Barely Making Rent, hello again, sir. Of course, who else have we got down here? Masuko, how are you doing today there, sir? Stuff Sean, hello there. I did see another one there, but I don't know where they've gone. There we go. Too Risky, hello there. How are you doing?
AKW as well.
And Outbreak Podcast, of course, last but not least. How are you doing as well? Hope everyone's having an awesome day. Of course, everybody in chat. Of course, if you do like it, please feel free to share it out if you can. Every little helps. I hope everyone's had an awesome weekend, and of course, enjoy your Sunday before you have to go off and do your normal day-to-day, weekly jobs, etc. But yes, awesome stuff. We'll be covering just like I say, a mop-up of the week's news. We will be starting with some Elden Ring. We'll talking a little bit about Horizon Forbidden West. We'll dive into, of course, the announcement, I think it was earlier on today, if not yesterday, of the new Pokemons that were kind of announced for later on in the year, and mop up some other little bits of news along the way. But first of all, Jen, of course, we know Elden Ring's released, of course, this week. Much to critical acclaim.
It's got some great reviews.
Rated. We don't normally take too much attention on Metacritics and things like that, but there's a fine line between when things are just falling into their 80s and things like that, and you think, yeah, well, that's kind of ish. It makes no difference. But when you have to take notice when games are getting pretty much nigh on perfect scores across the board, that's normally unseen. So as much as we don't take take stock from Metacritic from our own personal game, from a studio's perspective, to get that kind of rating is unbelievable. And of course, we still have to say, and I think everybody will agree with this, even if you're a Dark Souls player, it is very much still a Dark Souls game. If you didn't like Dark Souls games before this one, you're still not going to like Elden Ring, no matter how high it's rated. It's still a Dark Souls game. It's still hard as nails. It's all about being very patient with your attacks. It's all about kind of dodging things around in the right way and leveling up the right way and grinding out to improve yourself. It's not a straightforward game, but another thing that hasn't been straightforward, Jen, is the performance. I know
there was a
you
day one patch on PC, and it seems to be causing a lot of problems for PC players. A couple of friends I know have played it, I talked about earlier. They've not been having any issues, but I'm not too sure what their specs are PC-wise. So,
yeah,
there does seem to be a lot of issues with the PC update that came day one, which
yeah,
is a bit of a shame because that was where I was considering getting it. It's a good thing that I've decided to wait, and when I do get it, hopefully it's fixed. I'm aiming to get it around about 2 to 3 weeks' time, so hopefully by then some of the major issues are ironed out.
yes, yeah. Fingers crossed. I'll probably be picking it up next month. Like I say, with Horizon Forbidden West there and quite a few other games already out, and I still need to play Crossfire's second campaign. The thing is like I've mentioned before, with other older, really old games that don't have things like achievements, etc. I've got so used to having achievements in games that when you don't have an achievement, let you know where you are in it or what you've got to do, etc., it feels like there is no benefit to finishing the game other than just to finish the game. So it's like there's no like objective, as it were. Like at least you know if there's an
it's a
objective
shame.
to aim for.
It really makes it feel like the campaign was like an afterthought.
Yeah. Even though, like I say, the first campaign, it wasn't anything that's going to blow your doors off, but it wasn't terrible. A lot of people said it was horrific, etc., etc., and I think a lot of that boils down to the generic first-person campaign trope. Obviously, it's still like Michael Bay-esque, where there's like loads of explosions and lots of stuff kicking off everywhere. But
that's most of those war sort of FPS type shooter games. So they all have that.
It's similar to other things. It's got a nice little story behind it. The characters are okay, apart from the surfer dude. I'm not even going to spoil the story. For those of you who watched the story through with us when I played it, you'll have seen the ending, and you'll know what happened. But for those of you who didn't, I'll not spoil the story for you, and obviously you can experience it for yourselves. It is still a pretty cheap game, to be honest. It's only £20. It'll probably be even less than that soon, if not jump into Game Pass entirely.
I expect that to happen.
Game Pass, the second one isn't. So, considering it's there, it's an easy 4.5 hour play. Nice short campaign. It does save, so you can just pick up and play the remainder of it whenever you want to.
I've not even checked to see if the first part of the campaign that's available on Game Pass is playable yet. I've not gone back to it for a while.
Yeah, it is, thankfully. And I think you'll enjoy the campaign, specifically with our controls that we've dialed in. Without those, it was unplayable. Stick it on performance mode, enjoy it.
It's just one of them games that was like really awkward to get your settings right. Which is so weird.
And again, they've probably patched it since now, so the settings that we've got's probably fucked now anyway. Probably gonna have to redo it again, but it did feel all right on those settings. It played well. It was action packed. The story was okay. I'm looking forward to playing the second one. I just haven't got around to it yet.
I want to mop up those achievements for it mainly, and then be done with it.
I finished
very easy.
Play 100 games or whatever it is. But yeah, it's because there isn't any achievements for the single player after playing the first campaign. There hasn't been anything to drive us to play the second part of the campaign, like even for stream.
Yeah, and I don't even see achievements ever coming to the campaign now. If they were going to come, it would have been
too late now.
Day one.
Yeah, too late.
So I don't see people wanting to go back and play it again with the achievements. Unless they're like super easy, like, oh, you do this and get get one kill in single player.
Yeah, exactly. I'm looking forward to having another run through on Halo's campaign when co-op comes out in a couple of months. I'm really looking forward to that again because I did like the campaign from start to finish. I really liked it. And I'm going to like it even more when it's co-op. I'll do a run through with Jem. We'll just stream it.
I love that game. I streamed all parts of it, and it was so hard not to play that game, not to want to play that game off stream. I was itching to play it, but I was forcing myself to stick to streaming it. Yeah, I really enjoyed that. Having everyone see my like my experience with it was a cool thing to do.
Yeah. Well, I recorded the entire game. So I've still got the recordings now, even though I'm not going to use them, so I'm just going to delete them off the stick. But I recorded the entire game from starting point all the way through to the final tower, and then I stopped the recording there because I didn't want to record the final bosses. Originally, I was going to put them all up on YouTube as a playthrough, and I opted against it. A no commentary playthrough, but I opted against it. So I recorded all the way up to the final tower, and then I didn't want to record the final bosses specifically, because that would have been a really big story spoiler, as you know. But I'm really looking forward to playing that through again on co-op.
On Legendary, that's going to be funny. There's going to be so many, many shenanigans that happen.
Yeah, definitely. And then the UI, of course. The AI will have a big part to play in that as well, because of course you'll have two of you plus a couple of AI with you at pretty much all times. Then you're going to have things like wasps, where you're flying around in a wasp, or your friend will get a wasp as well, and you've got two wasps flying around in the air. It's just going to make it so chaotic, and it's going to be such an awesome time. But
I wonder if they're going to do like a new game plus for that.
Yeah, possibly, but then I don't know how that would work with story expansions that come out. And again, that's what we're looking forward to hearing about.
I just think the multiplayer needs more maps to keep people entertained and interested.
I can't wait till Forge comes out, and then we won't have any of this issue, because you won't even have to wait for new maps anymore. You just download them.
It's so weird because we were promised like 23 maps at launch, and there's like, is it 13 or something?
Yeah. I need to get some more custom games going again, to be honest, because they were hilarious.
Oh, they were hilarious. The slowdown mode was my favorite.
Slow down with low gravity.
With the gravity hammer. It's such a funny moment.
I'll have to get more of them set up. Speaking of which, actually, we're probably going to play after this podcast. We're going to have a little bit of a smidge of a break, get a drink, etc., and get some games set up. We've got Battlefield downloading in the background. Battlefield 5, not 2042, the one that actually works and looks good. Battlefield 5 and some Halo probably as well in there. So
I kind of want to get back into Destiny 2. Like, I've seen a lot of
people
saying
I know. Don't start us off. Even Pat's been jumping back into Destiny 2 now.
I kind of want to do it though. I was like, oh, this new DLC looks really good. And then I installed it and I jumped in, and they give you a little sample of the first mission. And I was like, oh shit, they're gonna make me buy this DLC, aren't they? That's where they get you. So I'm thinking about getting into Destiny 2 properly again, because I put like 2,000 hours into the first Destiny, and then they scrapped everything, and that really disappointed me. I was like,
that's one thing I have to disagree with them for. One thing specifically is they've essentially scrapped a lot of the story from Destiny 2 and just pulled it out. And so what happens if you've bought these packs, etc.? You can no longer play the stories. What is that about? I don't agree with that in the slightest. I think Bungie need a reversal of ideas. I don't care what's going on with their servers or anything like that. You don't put content in a game, specifically story content, and then just remove.
Now people will buy it.
I have to disagree with that entirely. I think it's a pointless escapade when you're doing that, and specifically those who have spent a lot of money buying these things, and it is the law of the game as well.
That's something I was pissed off about, because I did, when Destiny 2 first came out, I think I bought the edition that came with the season pass.
Yeah.
With the first two pieces of downloadable content. So where's that gone for me now? I don't get to play that ever.
It's gone.
It's ridiculous. At least like give people that bought that some sort of reimbursement, even if it's in the form of some in-game currency, to be like, oh look, this is us apologizing for saying we've got to scrap this content, but we've got to do it to be able to progress forward.
Yeah.
At least give me something in return, because there's
But
money
even
now
you've
that's
got to think, even though
gone.
new players to Destiny 2, like even this late on, there's going to be people who are new to Destiny 2, and a lot of the original stories no longer there.
Yeah, it's weird. Like some
They
people
can't
might go,
experience
oh,
the
I want to
things that
catch up
people
on the
originally
story, and
played.
it don't exist no more.
Doesn't make any sense to me.
I hope that their next version or iteration of Destiny, I can see them dropping the number and just going back to calling it Destiny.
Yeah.
I hope they bring that content back at least for free for people.
There's no reason why they can't. I mean, massive. You've got to think of like all these massive MMOs, like your Elder Scrolls Online and your Final Fantasy 40. They don't scrap the previous stuff. That all stays there. You can go back and play everything.
They want Destiny to be this MMO shared world, but that's not something you do in a shared world.
No, you don't remove the stories.
You're supposed to expand the world, not
because that's how people go up, and they're just like, oh, you haven't played this, right?
Yeah.
We'll go and play this story. I haven't played it for ages, so I'll do this story with you.
Instead of compressing the story, they should be expanding it. But it seems like they're trying to contain parts that they don't like and throw it away.
Yeah.
So weird.
But yeah,
I do want to get back into it,
in the same breath, though. Yes, I know that's do I download it? Don't I download it again? Mentality, because it still feels very much like a Halo. So it's easy for us to pick up. It's just now we've got like our kind of essentially RPG mechanics attached to it as well, where we've got to think about power levels and weapons and increasing weapon powers, and armor powers, and all of that stuff that go along with it, and transmogs, and there's a lot more to learn for that game now again. And a lot of people I've even seen now that have been playing Destiny for a long time, even likes of Lord Cognito, etc., have said, like, if you haven't played Destiny for a long time or haven't played it at all, it's not that welcoming for new players in the way it does things. And it is not an easy pickup to understand what is going on and how to do things and what to do and how to increase power levels and all the quests and things you've got to do. Like it's a time investment, and people that play Destiny 2 play a lot of Destiny 2. It is a big MMO, and it requires a lot. You go out and do your challenges for the day, and you go X amount of raids or strikes and things.
It's become super popular on PC.
Oh yeah, 100%. But yeah, you never know.
Has it got crossplay?
Yes.
So if I play it on PC, I could join people on Xbox.
Yeah,
that's good.
Because it's very much. I mean, it's with it being PVE, and obviously has its PvP arena, but the PvE section of it, the actual open world MMO section, it makes no difference on that front.
I was never much of a fan of the PvP though.
No,
I preferred Halo PvP over Destiny's PvP.
Yeah, the arena shoot. That's the thing with the PvP on there as well, as like if you're not equipped to the same degree as everybody else, you're getting tanked every time.
Especially in those, like, is it Iron Banner?
Yeah.
And then what's the other one? Where you like if you go like without a loss, you get special loot and all that. You get access to an area, you can get special loot. There's no way I could compete with that.
Nope. That's why I always stayed away from that and just focused on the open world story and doing all the big missions and even the
that's what
raids.
I loved about the first one. It's like the whole point was to become legend. How can I become legend if you've took all my stuff away from me?
Yeah. Well, not even that. You go into like if you go into Destiny 2 now and you have a look in your vault with all your weapons and things like that, they're all shit. You literally don't do damage. Like when I first started Destiny 2's expansion last time around that I picked up, I was trying to kill an enemy and it just wasn't doing any damage. It was, you know, the thing where it was like just doing like this red dot type thing where it was just not do. It was like invulnerable or something.
Yeah.
I couldn't shoot an enemy. Nothing was happening, so I had to just run straight through it to get to the first sequence, so that it would boost the weapon up, so that I could actually do something to the enemy.
Yeah, it's not good for people that are coming back to the game
No,
that have been away from it for quite a while.
no, it's not as welcoming. And that's the issue. Games like Elder Scrolls Online and Final Fantasy 14 are very welcoming. Again, they're not shooters, but they're MMOs at the end of the day, and that's what Destiny is. It's an MMO, and it does need to work on that a little bit better. I think apparently Witch Queen's meant to be better than that because it puts you all at the same light. At least
Yeah,
all
they give you that boost thing, I think, and you can boost your light level up, and I think it gives you some basic gear that's around that level.
yeah. So that helps. Very
Yeah,
much helps.
I'm debating that little sampling that I played tickled my fancy.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
definitely. Whilst we discuss these topics today, we will have some Ooh, not that one. That one's the wrong one. Hey, some Elden Ring gameplay. Let's put on the right banner as well. Boosh, there we go. Obviously, it's not from me. This is I've forgotten the name of the guy, but downloaded this off YouTube. This is a no commentary gameplay, Elden Ring first hour. So there we go. We'll watch this random guy play some Elden Ring in the background. Of course, suitable for today's topics. But yes, it has had performance issues, both on console and on PC. PlayStation 5 specifically. The resolution they've been told is to get the most stable performance, you're better off playing on the PlayStation 4 version on your PlayStation 5 over the PlayStation 5 version.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, just really backwards. And I've seen a lot of people, including Solid Rev, if people don't follow him on social media. He said exactly the same thing. PlayStation 5 version's very choppy. And he's went back to playing the PlayStation 4 version. I've seen another person saying that they're not going to play it until it's resolved, and they refuses to play on the PlayStation 4 version when he's got a PlayStation 5. So that's fair enough. The Xbox version is the same-ish as the PlayStation 5 version. A little bit more stable, a little bit more consistent. Slightly higher resolution, but does benefit from FreeSync, VRR, G-Sync, etc. Obviously to help smooth it out so it's not noticeable. So if you have a FreeSync, G-Sync, or VRR compatible monitor or screen, then it's going to work and look fine for you. So for me, for Gen C, for others in chat that might have something like that, you'll be fine. It'll look and run fine. My overall impressions of it so far, from what I've seen, it's obviously their first foray into an open world. They've obviously made it look very pretty, an intriguing world to explore. It isn't just about going from point A to point B and things like the previous one and fighting things. You are encouraged to explore the world a little bit more on this one, which is good. And like I said before, for me specifically, and for those who have seen me play Dark Souls previously, my only gripe with it really is the room to maneuver and the room to dodge and roll out the way of things. You're very limited in the space that you've got in order to carry out attacks. You've kind of got certain sections where you're kind of tunnel vision. You can only go like left, right, or jump back if you can. Whereas Elden Ring, being an open world and having a lot more room to maneuver, you can run away. You now have a horse mount that you can run around on and slash and attack people with. Obviously, jump up to higher places. A lot more exploration to go down and get more equipment, level you up and help you level up and things like that. So it's far improved in certain sections. If I was going to get into a Dark Souls properly, this would probably be the best place to start, I would say, for anybody looking to get into a Dark Souls, because it isn't confining you to a limited space. What's your thoughts on it so far, Jen? Like overall, in comparison to previous Souls games you've seen or played?
To me, it much looks like every other Souls game apart from the open world aspect, but it's the story I'm more interested in because I think it's sort of co-wrote by George R.R. Martin,
Right.
writer of Game of Thrones.
Put a little bit more into the story than they ever have.
Yeah, so that's what really appeals to me more than anything. I've had my struggles with Dark Souls 1, and I couldn't really get into it because I'm not good at those games. I'm not afraid to say it. I'm not good at those games. But yeah, it looks good. It looks interesting. I can't deny that. It looks really interesting. But yeah, like it's one of them hard ones for me. I'm just gonna wait for a little bit, try and get it cheaper,
Yeah.
and then get into it because I'm in no
I mean, the saving
immediate
grace
rush to
for
get to
those.
it.
I was going to say the saving grace for those. I think it might. Hopefully, it's the same price on the PlayStation as well. But the saving grace for those that do want to jump into it, it isn't your regular priced game. It's actually £50. So as opposed to your standard AAA game, which is $60 or $70, this is cheaper. So it isn't as much of an investment. But again, if you're not a massive Dark Souls fan, I'd still say hold off until it's cheaper before trying it.
That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to try and pick it up in about 2 or 3 weeks.
Don't give
no
in to the
immediate rush to
FOMO.
get to it right away.
Don't give in to the FOMO. If you're a Dark Souls fan, feel free to jump in. It is a great price for the game, specifically that they've expanded it beyond anything that any Dark Souls game's done before. I would say that for any genre that does try to enhance the overall core experience of the game, and it really has. There's a lot more to it now than there was before. Obviously, there's like 6 classes or something to choose from. In comparison to previous Souls games where you might have had a couple of classes at most, 3, maybe at the most. You've got 6 to choose from and all different variances. And of course, you can choose to do different things based on what kind of play style you're going to go for. Of course, there's easier ones to play if you're newer to the series. You can stick to things like Warrior, etc. More refined Dark Souls players are going for the likes of Vagabond. But again, as you can see here, at least he's got the room to run around and kind of get out the way of attacks.
Yeah, that's something that always threw me off about Dark Souls is like the sort of, I guess you'd call them boss lairs or dungeons or whatever. But
yeah,
they were like, a lot of them are very small and hard to like maneuver in.
Yeah.
I'm just not good at minding my surroundings in those games.
No, I'm exactly the same. Exactly the same. Yeah, I've got to agree with Mr. John Dark. Even from my limited time with Dark Souls 2, I would have to agree. It's not hard, but they are hard, but it isn't unfair. The vast majority of the times I got killed, specifically near the end of the stream that I was playing, it was down to my fault because I was rushing things when I shouldn't have been.
Yep, and that's my issue. I'm a rusher.
So it's like the first, because I would die to someone big, but before that, I was taking out the enemies with ease because I was like being a little bit patient. I was running out the way and then attacking them when they were like just finishing the end of their attacks. So I was actually hitting them at the right times, but then I was starting to get impatient. Then I was trying to attack them and they would attack me first. And then because it attacked me, I was in that like roll back maneuver type thing that he does where he staggers back and then they'd attack us again. So then I'd get 2 damage down. And of course, your health doesn't replenish. You've got to use potions. Or you've got to find things or make potions, blah, 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 blah. So you can't just get your health back. So, of course, then it boils down to you have to be a little bit more calm and collected, and you can't just rush into things because it then can cause issues. And that was it. It was because of me and the way I was playing was why I was dying. The game itself, if you just calm and you take your time, it's okay. You just got to learn the attack patterns and the way people can attack. As soon as you've got the attack patterns down for these different things, then you're generally okay. Yeah, it's going to be intriguing to play it. Certainly going to be intriguing. I've been watching quite a few people's streams, both newbies to it. Even Dr. Disrespect's playing it for the first time the other day. A Souls game in general. It was quite funny because he put up a little montage where He was like, "Oh yeah, I think I'll try Elden Ring." And then someone was saying, "Have you ever played Elden like a Souls game before?" And he's like, "No, but I've played a lot of Skyrim."
I saw that clip. He is a character. I'm not a huge fan of him, but like his production value is
Oh god,
unmatched.
yeah.
Unmatched.
It is absolutely like that. If anybody hasn't seen Dr. Disrespect's Elden Ring stream, fast forward a little bit to the part where he finishes creating his character, because he spends a good hour creating his character to make it look like him. Once you've got past that section, then he kind of goes back to his scene where it's just him, and then there's a little bit of the gameplay in the background. You get to that bit, and then he's got this unbelievably like high quality production like overlay that starts to introduce the Elden Ring stream, and it's just so high quality. It's got like these words and like this commentary voice that's like talking about the game and things coming over the top of it. That's like transparent, but these words just appear out of nowhere, and then like that blends into a really high production like intro video. That then blends back into a semi-transparent video that kind of overlays back over to him. It's so like if you want to aspire to be a streamer with high production quality, you don't have to, of course, match his. Don't match him. Don't be like him. But in terms of the stream quality and what he produces, it is second to none. And that's something to aspire to for any streamers, to put that much of production value into a stream. But of course, that takes time and it takes money and it takes investment.
Yep. Yeah, it takes a lot of thought and effort.
Yeah. And we're talking even just to do some of the basic stuff for some of the streams that we come up with. It takes hours to create some of these like semi-transparent overlays and things like that. And to do something at the level that he does is just phenomenal. So you've got to give him his props there.
He's worked to it though. He's definitely worked to it.
Too right. And that's why he can demand which platform he's streaming on and things like that. Like Twitch unfairly banned him in the end. Let's face it. There was absolutely
still given no reason as to why he was banned.
But now he's with YouTube, and to be honest, he's probably going to be better off at YouTube going forward, considering the way that Twitch are going these days. He's got a massive audience, and the production. He's not going to get hindered by YouTube in the slightest. They'll just leave him to it. Right? Unlike Twitch, who have like unbelievably like in-depth terms of service that you can't say or do anything untoward, or he goes offline, or you stream and goes off, everything gets muted, and so much stuff that can go wrong on Twitch that you can't control. On YouTube, they really don't care unless you're using copyright material, and even then, sometimes they don't. Depending on who the company is, they don't care. Everything else you're fine as long as you tag it as an adult stream.
Well, a good thing about YouTube is a lot of the copyrighted stuff, if it does get flagged, a lot of the times the money that stream makes, like the ad revenue, will go to that company.
Yeah.
And Twitch haven't got that, so they just ban you.
Yep.
That's probably one of the reasons why I'll switch to YouTube. I'm highly considering switching to YouTube.
Oh, I would. Yeah, I would. Like I say, this show is on Twitch and on YouTube. For the purpose of 24-hour streams, like we did with a charity, had to use Twitch because YouTube don't support 24-hour streams. Strangely enough, which is a bit weird.
I think as more people sort of go to YouTube, which does seem to be happening a lot, some big streamers recently have switched to YouTube.
And I don't blame them. You can get much higher quality. You're still limited. Like Dr. Disrespect on YouTube now is 2K. He's running at 2K 60 for his streams. I could probably knock this up to about 2K now if I found the right settings, and it does take a lot of maneuverability to get your streams running at 2K. Very high bandwidth for your internet. 4K is too much of a push even for my internet, and I've got a gig. I know Jen, think you've got a gig now as well, don't you?
Yeah, I've got a gig. Virgin
and even
Media.
then, the problem in the UK is that we get really great download, but we get shit upload. So even on a gig with Virgin, you're still getting like 60 meg upload. which sounds great, but when you've got a gig download, it's not. In America, when they're talking about gig fiber, they've got gig up, gig down on a stream. So when they're doing things like 2K and 4K streaming, it's fine. They can do that because they've got the bandwidth. But your overhead, you need about 20% overhead on for streaming performance and qualities and things like that. So you really need to kind of up it quite significantly to be able to do that.
He just got squished. Sorry, I was watching,
Yeah, you did.
watching that footage.
I have 2H internet. The H stands for hamster. Yeah, I want another shout out there to both Patchia and Hertog Vin for joining again there, sirs. Welcome to the show. But yeah, massive shout out to Doc Disrespect. You have to say, like I say, stream quality and the production value he puts in is second to none. There's obviously a lot of work goes on in the background, and he's obviously got a few people that will help him create that stuff as well. That's one thing we can aspire to, and of course, when we get more and more people involved in ourselves and what we do, having people to help produce these things and create these awesome overlays and fancy graphics and things for streams is exactly what we want to aspire to. And
Yeah,
of course,
that's
then
what
get the
I
equipment.
want to do with a green screen.
Yeah. And then, of course, like I say, get the equipment for everybody as well, to be able to do these things. Some of these high-level stuff, you need a high-end computer, even if you're playing on console, to stream with these fancy graphics and things like that. I would say a Pat on our side, he's probably got the highest quality console-only streaming, where he doesn't use anything. He uses, of course, Streamlabs for console, and then uses the app on the PC to add his overlays and things like that. So he's got a lot of great overlays, and he's got a lot of great graphics and intro and outro sequences and things like that. But that's few and far between on console only. When you're talking about kind of big streamers, it's a lot of the work, all of it is handled by the PC. The console's the easiest part because you literally just put in your capture card and you record, and that's it. Simple. But yeah, absolutely looking forward to you know where it is. Watching things like that though has always made me want to do more work in the background on these unbelievable graphics and things for and for streams, and get so much more work done in the background for it. But at the same time, I don't also want my streams to look too cluttered or over the top, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't know, that's one thing you're going to be working on going forward as well, as your stream overlays and stuff when you get back into it.
Yeah, I'm setting up OBS again over the next few days. We all know how long that takes to get right.
Yep, and the settings specifically for OBS, getting the settings right so that it streams fluid. Streaming
and then
is hard.
And it's back to making videos as well over the next week, working on where I go now from it. I'll get back into practice with editing. So
oh, definitely. It's been a little while now since your old PC was nigh on biting the bullet.
Yeah, it was a struggle to render a few minutes worth of content in the end. But
that was very unfair. I just watched that death there, and he got clipped by the very tip. Oh dear me. Yes. Oh, there we go. Thank you, Pseudo, for providing that timeout to Vin.
Timeout, Vin.
That was very much required. I haven't uploaded the brand on here. I'm gonna have to upload the timeout thing on here. Let's. Where is it? It's in here somewhere. I will find it and I will upload it. But yes, what other games have intrigued you recently then, Jen? Anything that you've got your eye on?
Anything? No, I've not really been paying attention to what's coming soon, to be honest. But I'm only just trying to sift through the backlog. It's a big backlog. It's annoying.
What's your backlog looking like at the minute?
Well, I've had to add Dying Light and now Elden Ring to that backlog. I do want to get Dying Light too, but that's another one that I'm holding off for.
Right.
I was planning on getting that at launch, but after I saw like the issues some people were having with that, sort of held off with that too.
Yeah.
That's something I'm going to grab soon. Probably around about the same time as I get Elden Ring, I'll get that. But I don't even know what's on the horizon, to be honest. I've not been caught up with what's coming out soon.
Yeah, there is we've had a packed month. One of the games that I had on pre-order, and I'm probably going to cancel it and wait on it, to be honest, see what the reaction is of people. Here we go, Vin, just for you. I'm just going to play it just this once. Pay attention. Just for you, Vin. No, enough. Yeah, I had Final Fantasy Strangers of Paradise, and that's kind of mixed, and I don't think I want to pay the full price for it, to be honest. I think I might wait on it, see how it performs, see what people's thoughts are on it first.
Yeah, it's not one on my list. I've never really been into Final Fantasy.
See, this is more of a hack and slashy Final Fantasy than it is a turn-based RPG. Look,
let's have a look what games are coming out soon.
Games for March. So what we got this month then? What have we got? Release schedules. January, February.
Ghostwire Tokyo comes out for the PlayStation, right?
Yes, it does. It does. So we've got Elex 2, Shadow Warrior 3. Of course, Shadow Warrior 3 is going straight into PS Now. Of course, that's only PlayStation 4. It doesn't have a next-gen version. Babylon's Fall for PlayStation 5, 4, and PC. Gran Turismo 7 comes out this week, I do believe, or the weekend, March 4th. Project Triangle Strategy for the Switch, which is the same guys who did Octopath Traveler. This is more of a tactical RPG, though, if you like those. Spellforce 3 Reforced. Chocobo GP.
I bet everyone's really excited that Grand Theft Auto 5 is coming out again.
Oh, is it the next-gen version?
Yeah.
I forgot that was coming out this month. Yeah, God. I hope it's a free patch.
Please don't. Just if there's anyone in chat that was contemplating it, please do yourself a favor, save your money.
Yeah. Do not buy Grand Theft Auto 5 again. Wait for it to be a free patch. That's all it needs to be. The Dawn of Ragnarok DLC is coming out for Assassin's Creed Valhalla. That comes out on March 10th. That could get me back into Assassin's Creed Valhalla, to be honest. Dawn of Ragnarok. That's an entirely different area again. Is based around actual Norse mythology areas, as opposed to England or France or anything like that, or Ireland. So that could get me back into Valhalla. Of course, I was max leveled on everything on that, so there was nothing left for me to do. So going into the DLC should be quite interesting. Chocobo GP for the Switch. Distant Worlds 2 for PC. Grand Theft Auto 5 for PlayStation 5 and series consoles, March 15th. Tunic comes out for Xbox Series X and S, 1 and PC. I will definitely be playing that. Awesome indie game. Really looking forward to it. That's not an easy game either. The Settlers comes out on PC. Persona 4 Arena Ultimax for PlayStation 4 and PC. Anno Mutationum for PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4, and PC. Stranger of Paradise Final Fantasy Origin, PS5 for series consoles 1 and PC, March 18th. Rune Factory, March 22nd. Ghostwire Tokyo, March 25th. Kirby and the Forgotten Lands, an open world Kirby game, March 25th. That actually looked quite interesting for a Kirby. That's probably a really good reboot. One that I will definitely not care about. Tiny Tina's Wonderland. Of course, I know a lot of people are looking forward to that.
I'm bothered by it.
Lost Ark coming out officially for PC on March 31st. Weird West, PlayStation 5, 4 series consoles, 1 and PC. And an RTS game, Starship Troopers Terran Command, comes out on the 31st of March. Next month is very slim as well, so we'll include those. April so far, we have Lego Star Wars, The Skywalker Saga.
I'm looking forward to that.
Platforms.
I forgot about that.
Advance Wars 1 and 2 Reboot Camp for the Switch. And 13 Sentinels Aegis Rim for the Switch. So Switch has 2 games, including the third one in Lego Star Wars. And that is it for April. That's very slim. Slim pickings.
Yeah, Lego Star Wars is something I'm probably going to get.
Yes, yeah, definitely. I'm looking forward to, Ghostwire Tokyo, I might get that on PC, to be honest.
It is on PC, isn't it?
Yeah, it's coming out for PC.
I totally forgot about that. I've got a brand new PC here, and I totally forgot about it.
I know, and you can play Deathloop now as well. You can play Deathloop now.
I can. That
all
backlog just gets bigger.
Play now.
That bloody backlog.
Yeah. And of course, then you get Steam achievements. Do you still get your achievements in some way, shape, or form? For me, I think out of all of March's games, I will be playing Gran Turismo 7 because it's my turn to get it. Of course, me and Erwin do have a game share on there. Of course, I know the awesome Mr. Louis, Crazy Louis, tried to get me, tried to help me out with Horizon Forbidden West. Unfortunately, it didn't work just due to region. It just wasn't working at all. But really thank him for even trying that. So, yes, Gran Turismo 7 comes out. So myself and him will be playing on that. I probably won't be playing too much into it again. With it being PS4, I won't enjoy it that much, but I'll certainly be trying it.
I'm looking forward to Erwin's content on
GT7, definitely. Yeah, Erwin will have very detailed sim racing content on that.
That's what I love about his videos. It's so different from the other stuff I usually watch, and I'm not into racing games, but he just makes it so interesting.
Yeah, it's because he tells you it's a good breakdown as well from Erwin on kind of what is required for a race, how many times you need to pit, how many times you refuel up, the different tire pressures and tire types you need to put on for a race, depending on
really interesting stuff.
Conditions.
Yeah. I still want him to play Halo with a driving wheel.
Yeah, that would be amusing. It'd be very amusing.
He should do it as a video. That'd be hilarious. Just him trying to play different games with the driving wheel would be funny as fuck.
It would be a good series. It would definitely be a good series. Erwin, if you watch this back afterwards, most certainly do that. Play every game with the driving wheel, regardless of what it is. FIFA, Halo, anything.
There's good community input there as well, because people could recommend him games to try out on the driving wheel.
Yep. 100%. Try it. It's not going to be easy, but try it. It'll be hilarious. Tunic, I'll definitely be playing that. Of course, that's going straight into Game Pass. Will not be missing that. I'll definitely be playing that awesome indie game there. Like I've mentioned before, Strangers of Paradise, Final Fantasy Origin. I'll probably hold off on that.
You know what I just remembered? I can actually play the new Age of Empires game.
You can, Age 4. Yes, you can join us now. You can join us. You can join me and Boxenberger on some Age 4.
Yeah, that'll have to be something very soon. I'll have to install that over the next few days.
It's not huge either, so you definitely download it and you can play it with all its 4K glory and HDR and everything in between. It's an awesome game, to be honest. It is. They've got a lot of detail in it now. And of course, they've got your online modes and you can set your own things. And they're still waiting to add more to it so you can create your own custom maps and game modes and modern communities and things like that, as usual. So it'll be interesting. But it's a very good game, and I play it from time to time, but I usually play it when Boxenberger just messages and says, "Do you want to play some Age?" I'm like, "Go on then."
I'll have to join you on that.
He's hot. He always puts it on hardest difficulty, though, because he's used to playing on that. So, yeah.
Maybe I won't play then.
No, normally he does the offensive stuff, and I try to build up all the defensive stuff. So I'm like trying to build up the walls and trying to build up like stocks and things like that, and castles and towers and things to defend our base whilst he goes on the offensive a little bit. But he's so good and quick on that game. Really, really good.
I wouldn't even know where to begin. I haven't played. I think I've played one of the Age of Empires games years ago.
Yeah. And then Ghostwire Tokyo, I'll probably try that on PC.
I like the look of that.
Not be
It
playing
reminds me of
Kirby.
Doctor Strange.
And I'll probably likely never be playing Kirby because Nintendo never, ever reduce the prices of their games. So it makes trying a new game very impossible. And I believe they're going to price that at like 50 quid like they usually do. So as much as I would like to see what this new reboot Kirby's like, I'll stick to watching other people's reviews of it first. Speaking of Nintendo, they announced today the announcement of a new set of open world Pokemon games in the same vein as Legends Arceus.
Pokemon Scarlet and Pokemon Violet.
Yes,
if I'm
Pokemon
correct.
Scarlet and Pokemon Violet. Very interesting. At first, to be honest, it looked like a very intriguing video to kind of introduce them all. It was like a policeman going through this office space, and something mysterious was going on. And the office space happened to be the Game Freak's office. But then it kind of shows you the actual gameplay itself of the game, and it's very much in line with Legends Arceus, which was an awesome way the series should have went for Pokemon and how it played. Big open world. All the Pokemon are there. You've got to control the Pokeballs yourself. So by that you mean you've got to actually aim the Pokeball, you've got to get it on target, you've got to so on and so forth. So it makes it a little bit more of an actual manual capturing Pokemon experience. You can choose to fight them or run away. You can run around the battle. You've got a little bit more perspective of what's going on. It does really add extra layers to it, and there's so much finer detail in that game as well, outside of course, the performance graphically was much more to be desired. It was definitely going in the right direction, and I think with these two coming up at the end of the year, they'll probably learn their lesson and polish it a little bit more. And of course, being in a more modern scale, you'll have your gym battles and things back again, but it's still very much the open world, but again, larger than this current one is.
Yeah, it's interesting. Maybe I'll have to be tempted to get a Switch now.
One thing I do want them to do compared to Legend Arceus, though, was in Legends Arceus, you had a big world map, but you had to fast travel to the different sections. You couldn't just go from one area to the other. You couldn't just walk through every area to get to the other areas of the island. You had to fast travel to one place, and if you wanted to go to another place, you had to fast travel back to the camp and then fast travel to the other place. So it's a bit of a should we say, fuck on. Whereas I hope for the next one, it's kind of a big, large, seamless open world where you can just go from one end of the map and walk all the way to the end if you want to, as opposed to having to fast travel to certain locations. Of course, you want to fast travel at certain times, but when you've got certain tasks that require you to go from the point A to point B, or if you just want to explore the entire world in one seamless transition, then you should be able to do that instead of having to fast travel to different locations every time. So I hope it's one open, seamless world as opposed to many open sections built into a fast travel system. But I'm looking forward to it. It comes out the tail end of 2022, so that'll be like a Christmas download. And of course, it gives plenty of people the chance to have finished and played through Arceus Legends if they haven't already. I put 55 hours in. I've pretty much finished it. The only thing I've got to do is catch all 242 Pokemon and then catch Arceus himself. That's the only thing left I've got to do in the game. Then I'm done, but I've got no desire to go and do that. I'd rather just be able to catch Arceus, but that's obviously not something you can do without catching every Pokemon first. So I'll just whittle down that thing over time and maybe play half an hour here and there, just catching different Pokemon. But yeah, what are the key ones that you're going to jump on for March then?
Not so much March, but April we'll be grabbing Star Wars.
Yeah. Are you going to jump into Ghostwire this month or next?
Maybe. I'm going to wait for reviews first.
Yeah. It's definitely going to be different. Tunic?
Watch a few reviews. I've
Game
not actually seen much on Tunic, but I'll probably try it if it's in Game Pass.
Yeah. It's worth it. It's worth a shot.
Yeah, other than that, there's not really much in March that interests me apart from Ghostwire, but I can wait for reviews on that before jumping into it.
Definitely. Most definitely. Yeah, it's been, to be honest with you, it's been a little bit on the quiet side in terms of news this week.
There was a few things that we missed. Well, not missed, but not covered. Valve, they're more than happy to help Microsoft bring Xbox Game Pass into Steam. Gabe Newell came out and said that. And I say do it. Do it.
Yes.
A lot of people complain that the Xbox app and Game Pass section of the app isn't very good on PC, and maybe Steam can help them improve that.
Yeah, I would. You know what it is, and the comment that you said again about that is mainly we don't have any plans to make a service like that, so we're more than happy to have PC Game Pass on ours. I think what Xbox and Microsoft really should be doing for PC is ditching the Game Pass PC app, or even if you're not ditching it, provide another option. Some people don't like the Game Pass PC app. It is terrible and it doesn't work a lot of the time.
It's hit and miss. Sometimes I can't download games.
Yeah. Implement Game Pass into Steam. It's your easiest and best option. People can still buy the games on Steam, much like they can buy them on Microsoft Store. You can still buy a game if you really like it on the PC. But if you've got Game Pass built into Steam, it just makes everything so much more fluent. And you'll still be able to get your Xbox achievements and your Steam achievements, whatever you want to do.
Yeah, it's like with Halo, you still get your achievements because it asks you to log into your Xbox account anyway. So
yeah.
I mean, that's not the only thing that makes me think, Game Pass is going to come to Steam eventually, but what about the other way around? What if there's a way Microsoft can help Steam get their Steam sort of store onto Xbox?
Yeah.
So it goes both ways if they're going to work together like that. Microsoft to go, okay, well, you'll help us with getting Game Pass on Steam, and we'll help you try and figure out a way to get Steam onto console.
I don't see why not. It does make sense. And I think they will have, because do they have Steam Remote Play? Or is that just NVIDIA?
I'm not too sure. I've not really been much of a PC gamer as of late because of the old PC.
If you're able to do like not a streaming service, well, not because they were just saying we're not going to be doing a subscription service, which is fine. Because Steam really doesn't need it. Their sales and summer sales most of the time are ridiculous. Like it's consistent, like really low prices. You constantly get nudged as soon as the price comes down on games on your wish list. So you can keep an eye on the games and the prices at all times, which is really nice. So that's something I think the wish list thing is something that Xbox could do better, because you can have a wish list on Xbox where you can kind of shove things into favorite.
You got
but it doesn't give you any notifications on anything.
I think it's GeForce Now, is it? That allows you to play your Steam library for streaming. So
I think Steam could do something like that, where you can get their own version of like a streaming thing, so you can stream your PC games through other things. And I think if they did that, Samsung TV's had an app for it, Steam Remote Play. If you had that through your Xbox, where you can play your Steam library through your console, I think that would be awesome. And that's something Xbox could probably help them with.
I could see that happening in the very near future.
Well, most definitely. What else? What other news did you have left?
There was that thing about the Nintendo eShop shutting down for the Nintendo 3DS and the Wii U.
Yes.
In
Yeah,
2023,
they're closing that down, and that's it. They just canned it, but it had zero backlash
pissed a lot
from
of fans
Nintendo
off.
people. They just said, "Oh, shame."
Well, apparently it is frustrating fans, but
it is. But they're not.
You know what it is
speaking
most
up
of the
on
time
it,
with
like
Nintendo
properly. They're not
fans.
like putting out petitions and things like
Mm.
like we all did. Like the moment, like we when they tried to increase Xbox Live Gold, it was an overall resounding no from everybody involved with Xbox.
It was within 24 hours that they decided to change their mind.
Reversed it. The PlayStation Store was exactly the same. They said, "Oh, we're going to ditch the PlayStation 3, and we're going to ditch X, Y, and Z." And everyone was like, "Whoa, no, definitely not." So they pushed it back, and then they reversed one of them entirely. I think it was PlayStation 3. But
I think so.
PS3 still going to shut down, but I think PS3 is remaining. But they put extra time on it in the end, didn't they?
Yeah, it's kind of annoying though, because all those games that are on that library just cease to exist.
Yeah, they're just gone.
It sucks. Game preservation is something,
and that's
that
the thing with
really
Nintendo
should be
as well.
focusing
Like
on.
there is no game preservation there now, and the only way to play those games on a Switch is via the store.
Yeah.
And once they remove those games from the store, there is literally no way to play those games
Exactly.
or get those games ever again.
If you're like, say you've not even seen some of those games on the store, and then someone's streaming it, or you catch a trailer of an old trailer of a game that you might have missed, and you go, "Oh, I want to download that." You can't download it anymore, unfortunately.
That's the thing as well with the way their physical media cartridges only have a lifespan of so long. Like after a while, the cartridges don't work anymore. So their physical media is actually far more prone to having issues than anything else, which is why people should be kicking off about this a little bit more and saying, "Listen, no, you need to do more for digital preservation of these older titles," because unfortunately, the cartridges now, even when you try to find some of these older games on cartridge, are scandalously high. You're talking hundreds of pounds for a game, even in its normal form, or just non-existent at all because there's that few copies left of it, or available in the wild. So there is literally no, like, once those digital preservations have been removed, it's gone for good.
Yeah, it sucks, and they wonder why people turn to piracy.
Yeah. And that's essentially what people are saying now. They're saying, well, essentially all you're doing is just ensuring people are pirating your games now.
Exactly. How many people are going to go and pirate these games now?
Yep.
So the list is going to be huge of games that they're going to pirate just because they no longer exist in the store. They can't get them.
But I'm saying, well, I've got a copy of Golden Sun here, but that's going to disappear now.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I don't understand why Nintendo do these type of things. It don't make no sense. It should be.
None of their diehard fans speak up against it.
They should be preserving these games. They're a part of gaming history. They should be preserved.
Unfortunately, they don't, and that is one of the problems.
Yeah, it's. Can't say I'm a huge Nintendo fan anyway, but this puts me off Nintendo consoles altogether because, like, even if I was to get a Switch, are they going to do the same with a Switch in X amount of years when they bring out their next console or the next console after that?
Yeah, exactly.
It is quite the off-put.
Preserve them properly. Preserve just as much as you can. Like Xbox have tried their best to get a lot of their games backwards compatible so that you can play some of these old games because they understand things like the internal clocks on the old Xbox One and the old PlayStations last a certain amount of time and then they will die. Like that's how some of these older systems worked. They had this clock internally that essentially lasted X amount of years, and then that was it, kaput, gone. Then it ruins the system. So the way to preserve the games itself outside of the system, when the system it kind of goes to its grave, is to preserve how you can play the old games, and they've done that via backwards compatible, so that a large portion of the OG Xbox game catalog, as well as 360, are playable on the newer generations. PlayStation could do a lot more to do exactly the same thing.
You'd hope so.
Yeah.
But they seem to not care as well.
This is
They'd
what I don't
rather
understand
sell
with...
you it again at some point in
So I don't
future.
understand against some of these physical media advocates where they're just like, digital's the death. It's not. Digital is preservation. It's the complete opposite of what you think. Remaining physical would be the death. Whilst we're going into transition into a primarily digital world for preservation and ecology style of things. So we're talking about actually running things and being more effectively better for the environment instead of wasting loads of
less plastic.
Yeah. Physical properties on creating CDs and discs and cartridges and things left, right, and center. The digital world prevents that. When servers start getting a lot more eco-friendly, when they start getting the carbon emissions down on servers, or they're offsetting the carbon on server farms and things like that, it's going to be a lot better for everything and everybody. And then you're looking at the opposite side of things. It's allowing it to preserve it on a server for an infinite amount of time, so that media, it never goes away.
Yeah,
it's forever there. The only time they could take, and this is what people are, but then they could pull the plug. Why would they pull the plug on something that they want you to play and want you to invest in? Like we're starting to get into like conspiracy theorist territory when people are like, but they can pull the plug. Why would they do that?
Exactly. Why would they do that when you're paying to play on the system anyway?
Yeah, or paying to use the servers, or paying to X, Y, and Z. They're not going to do anything that's going to disrupt their constant ongoing revenue stream.
That's what I like about Xbox. So they're really trying hard to preserve as many games as possible, while Nintendo and PlayStation are trying to just bury them so they can sell you them again at a later date.
Yeah, repackage them and repurpose them and then sell them again.
And sell you them for $60 or $70, not much has been done to improve the game.
Yeah,
I don't quite get it.
Nope.
I've been an advocate for digital games for a while now. The last game I bought from physical media, and that was just because it was cheaper to buy physical than it was to buy the digital version, was Assassin's Creed Valhalla, and that was when the Series X came out.
The last physical game I bought was Last of Us Part 2, and I got it for £14. That's £14 on sale on from Game, and it was reduced by something like 70%. I was like, ha! Yes. It's like, I hate physical media. I don't like having to fuck around with discs left, right, and center.
It's like, it's the only time I really pick up physical media is when it's really cheap.
Yep. That's one thing I have to say for both PlayStation and Xbox and Nintendo across the board. They have to, going forward, have sales to the equivalent of physical media sales, and also have sales to the equivalent of Steam, where things reduce to an astronomically low amount. They have to. If a store is able to sell a game like The Last of Us Part 2 at £14, whilst the digital store on PlayStation was still selling it at full price, there's something not quite right going on there.
Yeah, PlayStation games on the PlayStation store, they rarely go down on sale. And if they do, it's not much.
Their first party games are physically impossible. Like, I picked up Death Stranding on PC for £12 on PC. Because, and the only reason I didn't pick it up on PlayStation was because I wasn't willing to pay £60 for a game I wasn't sure on.
Yeah.
And it never, and this was a year after it released, it still hadn't reduced in price. Not once. And it still to this day hasn't reduced. It's still 40, 50 quid. It's still full price. It's been out since it came out. Like, it's a year or two now, and it's same price.
I've pretty much given up on Death Stranding again.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just 'cause so many games are coming out. I'd love to continue with
Yeah.
it, but there's so much to play and so many big games. You have to make that choice as well with big games. Like, what one do I want to invest my time in?
Yeah, like I think I got to the exact point where I gave up the first time I played Death Stranding, and I was like, I can't be asked.
Yeah.
So
It's a
yeah,
great
I'm not too
again,
bothered about it.
haven't played it. I can now say it's a great game.
It's
I've
it's
played
a
it.
great game. It just doesn't appeal to me.
For me,
It's
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 not
not
that it doesn't
my
appeal
cup
because
of
I can
tea.
understand it. I was getting to a very interesting part. It's just I played 10 hours of that game and I've just started it. Like, I know I would need to invest a significant amount of time in that game to finish it. That's not time I'm willing to put into it. Not soon. I'll probably come back to it and play a little bit more down the line.
Maybe I'll do the same.
Just got to
I think
check.
it was a stupid idea for me to restart it from beginning. That's where I made my mistake. I
Yeah,
should have just continued.
just continue on. It's not hard to pick up. You know exactly what you need to do. It's not one of them with like in-depth mechanics or anything like that. Like once you've got the grips of the basic mechanics, which is pretty straightforward, you hold down your triggers to make sure you're balanced at all points. But other than that, it is such a straightforward experience. Story-wise, it's not hard to keep up with what you need to do. The story is pretty straightforward. But yeah, all in all, specifically with the amount of big games coming out these days, you've just got to choose wisely what you need to invest your time in with these big games. So I usually pick one large open world game to play, and then 2 or 3 smaller games. And of those 2 or 3 smaller, at least 2 of them are going to be online games that I'm playing with friends, and the
Yeah,
third one might be an indie game.
like the last major sort of, well, I wouldn't say major, but the last open worldish game I played was Halo, and I played it through to the end.
Yeah. And the one I'm choosing to put my time into at the moment would be Horizon Forbidden West for an open world game.
I need to play the first one before I think about getting the second one.
Again,
So I'm probably going to grab that.
CD
Yep.
keys, you can pick it up on PC
I
for
was
10
going to say
quid.
the same. I was going
10
to grab
quid.
it. Yeah.
And that's the full Ultimate Edition with Frozen Wilds.
Yeah, I'm probably going to grab that then very soon and try and go through the first one.
And it looks on PC. Like without that checkerboard rendering in a nice native resolution, like bumped up with like ultra graphics, running like a streamline. It's like locked 60. You can't really get higher than that, but it's locked 60, full ultra settings. Oh, beautiful.
I'm going to have to grab God of War as well.
Yeah.
The bloody backlog. I've completed God of War on PlayStation, but
You
I
know
want
what
to
I
play
want to
on
do
PC.
on PC, and obviously now you've got a decent PC, we'll probably look into it, is try some of these more tactical shooters that they've got on there. I want to go onto Steam and find some of the best ones.
Insurgency. Armor 3 is supposed to be really, really
Armor's meant to be really good, but
game.
that is a sim shooter, like one shot kill type of sim shooter.
It looks interesting.
It does. I'd happily get that with you. Try that out.
Yeah, I'm going to give it a try.
Because I want to find some of these more actual war game-esque shooter games where you've got to play tactically. You can't just go gung ho. You've got to like think about where you're positioning and right. Okay, well, I can see an enemy to the left of you. Who have you got eyes on somebody to your right or to your front? Like,
I think there's loads of mods for that as well, and there's like people that have made Star Wars mods, and it's really cool. Like, it's really interesting the stuff they can do. I'm pretty sure there's Halo mods on Armor as well, like ODSTs and Marines and stuff.
Yeah.
So that could be interesting to play around with mods for that game.
Oh, definitely. But yes, I think this wraps up this week's podcast very nicely.
There was one other thing. We did get confirmation that Dead Island 2 isn't dead yet.
It's not dead yet.
No, it's still alive. Apparently, Embracer Group came out and reasserts active development on Dead Island 2.
What? That game's not been spoke about for years.
Yeah. Yep. So hopefully that comes out soon, because I was really looking forward to that.
Jesus Christ. When was the last time we've seen that? It was like, That feels like it was like
years
E3
ago.
2016 or something.
Years ago. I remember the announcement trailer. It was the dude running along the beachfront, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
it was an awesome trailer with the awesome music, and he but he's got a bite underneath his wristband, and
Yeah,
then
and
he
he covers
slowly
it up,
starts
doesn't he?
turning into a zombie.
That was such a cool trailer. I'm pretty sure Jack Black's in that game as well, or was in the original
Oh,
iteration of that
that
game.
trailer was absolutely awesome as well. I really enjoyed that trailer.
Hopefully it comes out, unless it's just like doomed to be this cycle of never coming out.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh,
Well,
we did have the Street Fighter 6 announcement as well, which I'm not too bothered about.
oh, yes. I mean, there wasn't much to it apart from we'll cover it in about two milliseconds. Yeah, Street Fighter 6 has been announced. We don't know what platforms for. We don't know when for. We don't know what it actually looks like. What we do know is that
Platform
they
or
used the
release
logo
window.
from Fiverr.
Here's
So,
the Rainbow Six Siege logo.
yeah, they repurposed the Rainbow Six Siege logo. No, they used the logo from a Adobe stock website and kind of slightly refined it. That legitimately is you can just remake it on Adobe stock. So it
What
was
is it about logos these days? They're so like
so
simple.
basic.
What was wrong with the original like Street Fighter logos? Come on. At least it
Yeah.
had some color to it and it was eye popping and eye catching. Now it's just a 6. Really? An S and a 6? That's all we get.
Yeah. Never mind. But yes, it's been awesome podcast again today. Nice and short and sweet. But as we spoke about earlier on, we're gonna have a little bit of break after the podcast. We're gonna get ourselves a drink. We're gonna get ourselves some snacks or something. And then we're going to I'm going to stream again. I don't know what Jen's going to do, but I'm going to stream again. And we're going to play some games. We're going to play some Halo, some Battlefield 5. We're going to
I'm going to
enjoy
play Halo on
anybody who
PC
wants.
for a little bit with you.
Yes.
And then I'll jump onto the console for some Battlefield.
Yes. Anybody who wants to jump on and play some Halo or some Battlefield 5, feel free. It will be open. Parties are there. I'll chuck my gamer tag in the chat quickly now. Anybody who wants to play, feel free to jump in. Of course, like I say, it'll be 10-15 minutes. We'll get ourselves a drink, get ourselves all relaxed. I'll set the other stream up again, and we'll get going. But
that's
Jen,
my gamer tag too.
Sweet, yeah. In general, Generasi.
Yeah, it's like
let people know, of course, where they can find you usually, and of course, you're going to be bringing out some awesome new content again soon because you have an awesome new PC, which is more than capable.
This coming week is all about getting set up to make content again. So I'll be setting up my Streamlabs. I'll be practicing me editing on the old Premiere Pro, getting back into the swing of things, and then hopefully a week after I'll have at least a video, maybe 2 out. Gonna get back onto that. I've got some stuff.
Any ideas? Any hints as to what you're going to jump into first for your first bit of content?
I've got so many Hunt Showdown clips. I'm kind of toying with the idea of putting a quick little Hunt Showdown, not a review, but more of a sorts to show what the game's all about and what sort of shenanigans you can get up to in that.
Kind of a what is Hunt Showdown?
Yeah, like a sort of example about what the game is and roughly what you have to do in the game and all that.
Why you should into Hunt Showdown in 2022.
Why you should play with me on Hunt Showdown.
Yeah. Play with me.
Yeah, I absolutely love that game. I'll die playing that game at some point. But yeah, that, and I'll be getting back to the old game. Well, I'm not even going to call it Game Pass series anymore because I think I've just come to the conclusion where it's just going to be games. Shouldn't matter what the game is, because then it doesn't hinder me and strap me to one platform. So
yeah, exactly.
I'm just going to get back to making those pass or play videos.
Looking forward to it. Looking forward to seeing what you create, and of course, once you've got your streaming set up as well, starting to get your streaming up and running, and that's going to be awesome. So
I'm going to be using the old green screen to film silly little bits so I can just throw in here and there, and the Hunt Showdown videos is going to have green screen footage in there, and I'm going to try and script some stuff and just have fun with it.
Nice. Nice.
Next step this week is figuring out where everything is going to go. So
definitely
getting back into the swing of things is the mission of the week.
Oh, 100%. I'm looking forward to seeing what you create. Where can people find you, Jen, of course, on both your channel and on social media?
You can find me on YouTube, the General C, and on Twitter, the _General_C. I tried to change that and I can't for some reason. Apparently someone else has got that name.
What? How dare they?
And on Twitch as well, the same as me social media. It's the _General_C. Yeah, I get confused again.
Awesome stuff.
What about yourself, mate? What are you up to in the week?
We tend to stay away from. Well, I tend to stay away from streaming on Twitch now, unless it's for charity stream purposes. In which case, then we can do much longer streams. It's a lot easier that way.
Yeah, like I said, I'm even toying with the idea of not even using Twitch to stream.
Yeah, YouTube's your best platform, 100%. Higher quality. You can choose much higher qualities. And of course, you can kind of retroactively edit, monetize, and everything else that's in between. So much better. And of course, you can get away with a lot more. But yeah,
maybe I'll just set up for YouTube then and work on doing that for YouTube.
Yeah, I mean, you've already got a large user base on YouTube anyway, so it makes more sense than trying to get a lot of, because you do need a lot of time in to get affiliate. And the only reason I got affiliate on Twitch was because of that charity stream.
The good thing about streaming on YouTube as well is the VODs will stay around on my YouTube for as long as my YouTube exists.
I had like a ridiculous, something like 1,800 views of that charity stream, which was just insane over a 24-hour period.
It was great to join you for that charity stream. It was amazing.
Looking forward to doing another one later this year as well, to be fair. It was great.
I'm there for it, mate. I'm there for it.
Yeah, 100%. And I know Pat will probably be doing another one at some point this year as well, so I'm looking to enjoy that one. But we'll be doing a few. I think we're going to try and kind of elongate the charity stuff.
I want to do something for a mental health charity because you know yourself that I've suffered with my mental health issues.
100%.
I'm going through therapy at the moment.
We'll set up. What I want to do is kind of set up a kind of maybe it's not a week-long one, but something similar to that where we do like a 24-hour and then do steady kind of nightly things. So we've got like ones that do maybe 7-hour ones like daily, where we've got different people streaming for charity each day.
Yeah, it's something I'm looking at doing.
Or do 7-hour ones every day. So we've got different people streaming on different days, and then finish off with an almighty 24-hour marathon event on the final one.
Yeah.
Like that. But yes,
it's something I want to do.
Definitely. But yeah, as usual, everybody, you can find me, of course, on Twitter at WandrinDutch, on YouTube at WandrinDutch, as part of the Primetime Gaming Guys tomorrow night on Boom's channel. That is at 12 o'clock midnight for those of you in the US. I think that's EST. And of course, that would be 7 o'clock EST, 12 o'clock midnight GMT. And other than that, you can find me here every Wednesday, of course, for the Midweek Mix-Up podcast, the main week show. Of course, the topics, etc., usually come out late on a Tuesday evening. So we'll then be letting people know what we're talking about on the Wednesday. Other than that, probably at some point throughout the week, I will be streaming as usual. And of course, straight after this show, we'll be streaming some games with the community, both Battlefield 5 and Halo. So if you want to jump in, of course, our gamer tags were in the chat. WandrinDutch, of course. If you just scroll up the chat a little bit more, it is there. And of course, the General C, no spaces, for the General C. So jump in, join us. Let's have some fun, and we shall see you all next time. Have a great day, guys. See you later.